the volume.
Turn up the volume.
You've arrived at the destination for all things Kentucky. This is the Bleed Blue Network Podcast.
What's going on, Big Blue Nation? It is another episode of the All UK Ball Podcast. I got Salena here with me and special guest, Football Freddy. How y'all doing?
Good, I'm good. I've been on a loop for a while, though. Marching bands keep me busy.
Yeah, Selena's band camping. Football Freddy's out there crushing it, getting the home crowd into it. But we haven't been on the mic since South Carolina. What a disappointing game that was. Had the opportunity to have game day at Kirk Herbstreit and the whole crew. Pat McAfee out there killing it in Lexington, and it didn't happen. But I don't think we need to talk about that game. It hurt hard enough. But Freddie, me and you were both at Georgia. And I got to tell you, that was the best live sporting event I've ever been to. The crowd was absolutely electric. The fact that we stayed in that game and really led a lot of it and just had the opportunity to win the game late too. The crowd stayed into it the whole time, and it wasn't until a minute left people started rolling out to get to the cars early. But what'd you see about that game that gets you excited about the team moving forward?
Right. It's going to sound very cliche, and everyone that's listening probably got this in their head already. But just the grit, right? The fight that they showed, not even on just defense, offense. Like the line. Like, yeah, we were playing against a couple backup defensive linemen for Georgia, right? But those are still 5-star players in Georgia. Like, their 5 stars are beyond just their starters. You got 5-star backups. You got 5-star kickers, you know what I mean? Like, Georgia is what the definition of 5-star is. So to see our line actually be able to give Brock a little bit of time in that and just fight the whole game, like, it wasn't just like they fought for the first half and they wore out. They came in that game ready to go, man. They fought the whole way. That was probably the best thing I've seen.
Yeah, actually, before I got on a plane, you had a space on X. And then I said the same thing, echoed it on the radio show that we do pregame. And I said, we're going to find out what kind of team we have. They're either going to roll over and Georgia's going to come in here and walk the dog and just make us look, embarrass us home, or we're going to have some dudes that, you use the word grit, but, just what kind of fight they have, what kind of pride they have, how good the locker room is, how well they respect the coaches, how well they still believe in the team. And I think we saw that on that Saturday evening. Georgia doesn't lack talent. So if their corner was out after getting arrested, they had some backup D linemen in, like you said, but they are not hard pressed for talent. They have dudes who can come in there and step up and play at a high level. And the fact that we went toe to toe with them, especially on the defensive side, I think Carson Beck is the second best quarterback in the SEC outside of yours, and to make him look rattled and to keep Georgia from leaning on that run game like they're known to do. They definitely did not look comfortable that entire game. And my wife and son, they were both rocking their Georgia gear. So afterwards, we went to where the Georgia players were coming out to go to their bus. And I got to tell you, you saw it in Kirby's interview. Carson Beck came out, Kirby came out, and then some of the players were talking to their families. They were absolutely blessed and shocked and grateful to get out of there with the win, because I think they truly felt this was going to be a game that they were going to lose. And the look on Kirby's face as he walked to the bus, he was not happy. And it was definitely a shock to the world. I got a lot of text messages. A lot of people were like, I did not think Kentucky had that in them. And, for us following the team and being fans, we knew that team, or that's what we thought the team could be. We just needed to see it. But I think we got a lot of good things going forward. But what was Freddie? What was your outside of just the grit and what was the takeaway from a key player or position group that you think can carry us as we get into the heart of SEC play?
Yeah, I'll give you key takeaways, good and bad, real quick for you. Bad.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stick with the offensive line. It was nice to see them fight, but man, like some of those plays, they just roll over. It's weird. It's really weird with them. But the good is the running back. Like, so we came into this season, our main questions were offensive line and running back, and those are still those were still our questions going into this Georgia game. They looked good against South Carolina, the running backs that is, but we had to see it. You know what I'm saying? We had to see it again. They came out there. Demi Sumokongbe, he showed me a lot this year. He showed me a lot of stuff that we needed to have. And with Chip Trainum out, he's been that kind of like a downhill back. And then Wilcox, man, he surprised the crap out of me.
He's electric.
I saw a stat something like that. He's had 19 runs and 16 broken tackles. That is ridiculous. Like that's a man right there. Like, and he's not the size of the normal Kentucky running back, right? He's a little bit smaller, a little bit thinner, but when contact gets there, he gets away from it. Like he had two guys on him, and then 5 yards down the field. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that was really exciting to watch the running back group, and I look forward to see them continue to grow.
Yeah, I think when you look at the O-line, it's their run block ability is very good. I think that's they grade well when it comes to run blocking. Their pass protection just isn't it. I don't know. I think maybe it's just time. They need more snaps with with the same group out there, and hopefully some folks get healthy. But even against last weekend or yesterday against Miami, like, I'm sorry, but that caliber of team in the MAC on the D line should not be able just to blow through the O line and make Brock uncomfortable like he did a few times. Just a couple just absolute whiffs. But like you said, the running backs that we haven't even seen Chip, and he's going to come in here and hopefully he's the guy that we were expecting him to be. But if you have a three-headed monster like that, it can lean on Wilcox, DSK, and then train them. Then Bush needs to kind of look at the offense, say, okay, we're going to live and die by the run game and be real strategic about play action pass and rolling the pocket out and using Brock's legs to his advantage, and just take a couple deep shots down the field. Like, it didn't work. I tweeted this out. It didn't work, but that deep shot they took right after the turnover, I thought that was a great call. Like, let's go ahead and let's try to flip this field position real quick. Defense came out. They're shocked. They don't know what's going on, and take a deep shot. It didn't work, but hey, at least DCs are seeing that we're willing to do it. So I think that's big. And my takeaway from the players, and I'll look at the opposite side of the ball, is this defensive unit is going to keep us in every single game we play. They really, the South Carolina game score looks skewed because of the pick six, and there was turnovers, and the fourth quarter was just kind of garbage time, anyways. But this defensive unit is top in the SEC, and they will keep us in any game that we play. So the offense just got to kind of get it rolling, and Brock's got to get comfortable, and hopefully with some more snaps as a starter, that'll help. But and my takeaway from Miami is, and I'll have you talk about this too, Dane Key's got to be our best overall just wide receiver, like pass catcher. I think he is the best dude out there. Barry Allen's the most explosive dude in that group. And Macklin is probably the shiftiest, best route runner, but overall best receiver is Dane Key, and Bush has to exploit that and use his size and speed and his ability to open up this offense.
So, question, because again, I haven't watched a lot of games, I've had time. I have seen some tweets where people have said Brock doesn't look comfortable. Is that a rep thing, or is that just him not being what we thought he was going to be? What do you guys think?
So, go ahead, buddy.
I'm not ready to say he's not who we thought he would be, right? So, the first game, yeah, we played a football game, but it wasn't a complete game. And with the whole like lightning delays and stuff, the vibe of it was just completely different from everything else. So I'm going to scratch that. So his
Okay.
first real game was against South Carolina. South Carolina, they're a pretty good team. I don't know if you watched the LSU game. They're not chumps. Like they can play ball, especially that front four they got. So then we're going up against our first SEC opponent, basically first game of the year because I'm scratching the first one, and we're going up against probably one of the top three best defensive line in the SEC with a new quarterback and a bad offensive line. So you're right. He does not look comfortable. You're right.
Mhm.
Brock does not look comfortable. It's going to take reps, as you said. That was your first explanation. But yeah, it's going to take reps. It's going to take reps because when the line breaks down, he needs to learn you can't roll out every time, especially when you're playing the team like South Carolina and they have those strong defensive edges. When you roll out, you're rolling towards them, right? You would rather want to take a step up in the pocket. Take a step up in the pocket and buy that extra half a second, maybe a full second by taking a step up, rather than rolling out and creating more pressure on yourself. So yeah, that'll come with reps. He's got to learn his offensive line just like he's got to learn his receivers. There's a lot of similarity to that. And
So it's an
like
experience thing. I get that. Yeah.
and like Rando said, we were looking for Barryon Brown a lot on the go route because that's Barryon Brown's route, right? A go route. You don't have enough time for a go route, Barryon. And if you've seen that, we was running a lot of go routes in the South Carolina game. Then we moved to the Georgia game. That was something I seen them adjust to. Instead of that go route, Barryon Brown's breaking off the line like he's going to do a go route, then he'll cut back, right? Because that gives Brock that extra second right there, and you can just give it to him on the cutback. So it's going to take a lot of adjusting, coaching, scheming around that. And I agree, Dane Key can fix a lot of it. We need to run the ball to get the pass game open and give Brock time, and then get it to Dane Key. That's how I see it.
Yeah, and in South Carolina, you could see. I mean, the ball would be snapped and it would hit Brock's hands, and it was his eye level instantly dropped because he was just not comfortable. There were people playing around his feet. The D line was just absolutely eating, so he's not even looking down. And then what that did is now his feet are all off. He's like, you could just tell like his feet weren't underneath him, so he's trying to throw off balance and he's fading away. And he just in the game against Miami that just happened, you go look at and there's still some of that was happening, but even some of his off platform throws that he has. He's got a laser, so he can put the ball where it needs to be. So I think he's got the talent we thought he was going to have. But he's a 5-star dude that hasn't actually played football in a long time. So like he got in, he played us 2 years ago, I think it was, or maybe was it last year? Last year, and he played us, but he's gotten some reps, but he hasn't been a starter to go out there and so getting comfortable, getting those reps, I think will be okay. Going to be another big test against Ole Miss coming up. But yeah, it's got to be lean on the run game, and then boom, take a shot. And we got to be in this. Peyton Manning talks about this all the time. You got to be first down, second down, first down. Like don't even get to third down. Run the ball. And if you have to play third down, it's 3rd and 2, real third and short, easy to convert type of play. So. With the run game that we have, averaging the yards per carry that we have, having dudes who can break tackles, be elusive, be strong to get those extra yards after contact. That's gonna be big, and we have to do it. And Bush Hamden, please God, use the middle of the field. Please, good Lord, use the middle of the field. It's open all the time. That deep over that Dane Key caught twice, like boom, it's there. Your tight ends, Dingle. He's a good player. Get him the ball in the seam, please. Good Lord, use the middle of the field. It's open. And if we do those things, I think we'll start seeing this offense open up. It's no secret how much I love Jamore Macklin in the offseason. Selena, like we talked about this.
You got excited.
He's been non-existent in the offense, and you got a guy who's shifty like that in the slot. Like, get him. We got to find a way to manufacture him touches. I don't know. Maybe my evaluation just wasn't right. And he looked really good at a place like North Texas and SEC play. It's still a lot for him, but I think he's got the talent that we got to find a way to get him the ball. So, what do you think, Freddie? Watching him play, you think Jamore's that guy, or do you think he's kind of just getting pushed back in the depth chart?
I think I don't know. Like I'm with you all off season long. I was excited, looking forward to Macklin coming in. That first game, we saw him kind of get his reps. You know what I'm saying? The first game, I was like, that's what I expect to see out of him. Walking away from game one, granted it was a weird game or whatever, and I threw it out earlier, but walking away from game one on my way home, I was thinking, Jamori Macklin could be wide receiver one on this team. That's
Yeah.
what I was thinking that game. And then to see him just, like you said, be completely out of, like, not him out of his head, but out of the game, basically, for the past couple games is kind of depressing, but he's the type of guy though. He's like, yeah, he's a slot receiver. You can line him up really anywhere. He's not
Yeah.
not small. He's not slow. You know what I'm saying? You can line him up anywhere, and he'll run whatever route you give him. That's the way I look at it. We got to find a way to get him.
Yeah, he was the ex at North Texas, so he can play anywhere on the field for sure. Yeah. So like I would imagine Bush's call sheet has he's obviously he's got plays for down and distance, side of the field, hash mark, whatever. But like his call sheet's got to have like a area where it's like, hey, if I need to get 9 the ball, these are the plays. Like this is the play group that I'm going to use to get extra like 9 the ball. Like, hey, I'm going to make sure at least 3-4 times a game I'm calling something to get him the ball, just keep him in. Same thing with Dingle. Like there should be something on there that says 85. Like how do I get 85 the ball? This is the play call. He's going to be the first read and do those sort of things. So it doesn't seem to be happening. I got to imagine it's on his call sheet. I mean, it should be on every OC's play call sheet, but I would like to see more of it where it's like, hey, I'm intentionally getting to the ball, and maybe he is, and you go back and watch. It's like, okay, Macklin's the first read, he's just not getting open, or so he's having to break down, but I just don't see those plays happening, on the field looking at the TV copy. But Salena, well, I know you haven't watched a lot of the games, but when you're watching the highlights of it, what is it that that kind of makes you? Is there something that gets you apprehensive that maybe we were too hype on the team at the beginning of the season?
I mean, obviously, I watch highlights and see people's tweets as things are going on and happening. Maybe this is my take. Again, I'm not watching anything, so I can't say, for instance. But I do feel like the offense was overhyped at the beginning of the season, too. And I know it struggled a lot, but coming in, we had this great QB, this fantastic wide receiver core. We had running backs coming in. Like, we covered all these Randow, like all these positions. We're like, yeah, this is super exciting. It was super good. And it's struggled. And I know the O-line is a struggle. I get that. Like, we've talked about, all of that too. But at the end of the day, when you have weapons you have on offense, especially like the pieces we have, it should be a better product on the field, I would think. I know the defense has been good. Like, people have like raving about the defense, and that was expected as well. But
I think we overlooked one big thing there. We have all this talent. The defense is good because it's the same DC. It's the same players. Like, there's continuity there. We got like Pop to come in here, but middle linebacker, he's got a lot of experience playing. He's able to mesh. But we have a new quarterback, a new OC, new receivers. Or Jamori is new. Still haven't seen what we thought was going to be RB1, and the O-line play has been disappointing. So I think we overlooked the fact that like we have all these pieces that it's going to take some time to mesh, and they had some camp time and whatnot, but nothing's going to compare to the live game reps that you play. And especially when you clearly underestimated a team like South Carolina, they came in here and smacked you around. Probably was the wake up call. We needed, and the defense has stepped up. Now you just have to hope that time will bring in a better offensive unit, and we'll see them kind of spread it out more. And a lot of it might be just Bush knows, hey, I got to keep Brock in like this little window, right? He's got to stay in this box right now. He's not real comfortable, so I'm gonna call plays that he's comfortable with, make him get some easy throws, and make hopefully over time, like next weekend when we play Ole Miss, who's going to be a high-powered offense, we can see some new wrinkles happening. And Bush, we already talked about Georgia, but one thing I it was like Bush Hamden didn't get. I thought he was going to get Gavin in that game, right? And then we didn't see him. And I would have liked to see. I know some people on Twitter aren't happy with the 2 QB thing, like keep Brock in there. But you see what Gavin can do with the ball. So when you have a 2nd and 8, 3rd and whatever, and you need to get some yardage, and he's in the game, he's a difference maker. And when you have a quarterback who can run like that, and you're playing 11-on-11 football, and the math equals each other. So you got a blocker on a blocker with one dude who's got the ball. I think that can be an advantage too. So, if for some reason Brock isn't the elite QB we thought he was going to be, let's get these dudes in a rotation, and when time comes, get Gavin in. But Freddie, what do you think? You want to see more Gavin, or you think you just want to lean on Brock and put the ball in his hands?
That look he just gave me.
I got mixed feelings about it, man.
Yeah.
When have you watched a championship, a football championship, and seen 2 quarterbacks out on the field doing that? Just answer.
Florida. Chris Lee, Tim Tebow.
Fair, very fair, very fair, very fair.
But yeah, that how many? What was it? 2007.
That's a long time ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
So my problem. So I like Gavin coming out there, right? What I don't like, what I absolutely do not understand, maybe they're just trying to not get him hurt or whatever, but at some point you got to get Brock the reps, right? So that South Carolina game, it was dog water the whole way through. And we just take Brock Vandagriff out the game. He needs those reps. He needs that rep against that defensive line. He needs those reps. The offensive line needs to learn how to block for Brock, not Gavin, right? Because Gavin's a runner. So they need to learn how to block for Brock, not Gavin. And when they took him out, I was just like, and then we saw on the injury report he showed up with I think it was a shoulder or something. So that's understandable. But man, and then same thing with Miami of Ohio. We took them out. They got to learn to block. They got to learn to block for Brock. And then that's only going to happen.
Hashtag block for Brock. Hashtag block for Brock.
That's a good,
you heard it here first, folks. Hashtag block for Brock.
I tweeted the same thing. We went down and scored, and I was like, hey, I want to see one more scoring drive. I think this was probably about 8 minutes left in the fourth. One more scoring drive from Brock, and then get him out. But they pulled him a series too early, in my opinion. But I do think you can use Gavin in those roles where you don't want Brock taking those massive hits, because this dude is not going to slide. You see him; he is going to lower his shoulder and try to take someone's head off, which terrifies me. He's a big old son bitch. Yeah. Oh yeah. He's seeking it. He's like headhunting. He's like, go out of bounds. I'm gonna drop your ass. It's like, good grief, dude. But I'm sure they love it when they watch the film. I'm sure Bush and Stoops don't necessarily love it, but if you can get Gavin in on some of those reps where he can take those hits, they ran a draw with Brock, and it was a good play. He got a lot of yards, those sort of things. I do agree with the play calls where you see Gavin and Brock on the field at the same time. That's got to stop. Let's get him out the game. You ain't throwing it to Brock's not doing anything like out there anyway. So if you're going to get Gavin in, but those plays where you need, it's a everybody knows you're running the ball, but you got a dude who's a hell of an athlete, who's a big body, can get back there and can run it. Or some kind of gadget play where he can sling it, and he doesn't have the same kind of arm as Brock, but he can sling it. You saw a couple really good throws in the Miami game. So something where he can pull it, read option, but something easy that he can make a single read. And if it's not there, take off running. But I would like to see some of that in some of these games, just to kind of keep the offense guessing. But I definitely agree with what you're saying, Freddie. Like the pulling them and getting Brock and the O-line those reps. I think they pulled them early. I know it was embarrassing against South Carolina and whatnot, but just to get out there, even if it was against the second string South Carolina dudes, I think confidence is big too. So Brock, not getting pulled from that game, after sucking the whole time and the offense just looking like trash. Let him drive down the field and let him see one get in the end zone. At least there's something there that he can build on in the film room and say, this is all the things you did well to get you down the field. But that's why we're not the coaches and we sit there here and talk about it on a microphone. So
you're exactly right. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say, hey, I do know our kicker's really good, though. I know that much.
We got a couple of them, man. We got a couple of good kickers this year.
Didn't I don't know his name. Which one set the record for the most consecutive field goals made? Right?
Alex
that
Randow?
just happened? Yeah, that's his name.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's really good. The way I want to see Gavin, before we move on, I don't want to try to move on real quick. I was thinking about it. The way I want to see Gavin, right, is goal line situations and third and 2, third and 3, third and 4. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to see Gavin on first down. Nothing against him. I don't want to see Gavin on first down. I don't want to see Brock Vandergrift get this complete pass off and then here comes Gavin. Like that's not something I want to see. I'm fine with Gavin getting a run place because he's a lethal runner. And like if we put Gavin out there, you know what I'm saying? Third and 4, right? Third and 4, Gavin comes out there, gets the first down, goes off the field. Later on in the game, third and 3, Gavin comes out there, first down. Later on in the game, third and 5, they're watching the run, right? And then he can hit something over the middle real quick. You know what I'm saying? I could see that. I would like to see that. I don't want to see him on the Brock downs, but that's all I had to say. Sorry.
No, I agree. I should clarify where it's like if the offense is clicking and we're rolling and it's like, hey, keep Gavin on the sideline. You know what I'm saying? Like if Brock is just and Bush is in his bag and Brock's feeling it and everything they're doing is working. But there have been times where it's just the offense is slow rolling and it's like, hey, Gavin might be able to get there and kind of get a spark, a big chunk play, something just to throw the defense off a little bit. Break tendency is what I'm saying. If you have to break tendency to get the offense rolling, I think that's where you pull them in. But yeah, I agree on the downs or first and second down or where if there's a game where Brock's just rolling and we see him, it just kind of clicks, that light bulb comes on, he's seeing the field, and yeah, keep Gavin on the sideline and let Brock cook. But I do think there will be a role for Gavin moving forward, especially as we get into the heart of SEC play and watching a team like Tennessee who has allowed their first touchdown in 19 consecutive quarters, whatever it was, like something like that, where you needed some big boys to lean on them. And I think that games like that are where it's going to be. He'll have his role, but. Before we close it out, we're leaning into Ole Miss. Fred, I'll let you start it out. What do you think is going to be key in going down with the Dockers and the tucked-in polos and all that other craziness that we're going to see at Ole Miss? These goofballs out there screaming and whatnot. How do we go down there and send them home with an L? Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so defense, right? I mean, that's the obvious thing. We've seen Ole Miss offense put up 60 points a game, it feels like. So defense, and specifically, I want to see something. We just saw Maxwell Harrison get that pick six. I need to see more out of him. I need to see a lot more out of Maxwell Harrison. He coming into the season, like he's my girl's favorite player. Like that tells you something right there. Like that's how electric this guy can be. So yeah. I just need to see more out of him. Even if it's not interceptions, just deflections or lockdown defender, I need to see more out of him. And then JQ Hardaway too. So the DBs, and then we got to get pressure on that quarterback somehow. And I think if we can get 3 touchdowns, I think it'll be a ball game going into 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. That's the way I feel about it. What about y'all?
Yeah. So I just pulled up some Jackson Dart stats. He's 95 for 119, 1,500 yards, 12 touchdowns, only 2 interceptions. Now, that being said, they played Georgia Southern, Wake Forest, Middle Tennessee, and Furman. So,
wow.
Yeah, I don't even know it. I think that's an online school maybe. So they haven't, this is going to be the first test they've gotten from an SEC, top SEC defense. We'll see how they can go. But this is the disrespect. 17.5 point spread. Ole Miss is favored. Over under is 51.5 right now. with the ESPN analytics giving Kentucky a 9.5% chance to win.
But there's a chance.
So there is a chance. And hey, the spread against Georgia was 24.5 at open. I think it closed at like 21. But so we'll go and be some dogs, and we can be some spread killers and hopefully makes people some money. But I think my takeaway from seeing is I agree the defense has to step up, and we have to get to a big start. My biggest problem with this offense has been the first quarter of every game looks like trash. They just can't get it going. Like, get there, and this is going to be really tough because it's an 11 a.m. game. So it's like you
10 a.m.
I'm sure. Yeah. I'm sorry.
It's their Central Time, right? So it's actually a 10 a.m. game for us, technically, not 11 a.m. game.
So it was at the noon kick, but so I kicked it back an hour. So I think
sorry. It was like, hold on, what?
Yeah. So I think it's it's 9 a.m. my time. It's what ESPN say. So it's gonna be early morning. It's gonna be they're gonna have to bring their own juice. But if they can get to a big start, and I think we don't win unless we have some sort of special teams or defensive. It doesn't have to be a touchdown, but some sort of game-changing, field-flipping type of play from special teams or the defense. Like the difference in the Georgia game, we forced 3 fumbles, didn't recover any of them. Georgia forced 3 fumbles. They recovered that one in the red zone, kicked a field goal, and that was the difference in the game. So when we have those opportunities, we gotta make sure we take advantage of them. And having a big pick six or forced fumble that we recover, or a big special teams play, I think is the way we get out of Ole Miss with a win. And now after that, people can say, okay, Kentucky's real, and they're going to be a problem in the SEC moving forward. But we got to go there and actually do it. This was one that I, at the beginning of the season, honestly didn't expect us to win. Now I won't say it's a must win, but I do think it will be a win that can kind of rejuvenate everybody in the fan base, on the team, in the locker room, to really believe that this team is special. And at the beginning of the season, the players were talking about the playoffs. So like, get a win like this, and now you're like, okay, we might have a chance to do something special. We actually have something to play for. That's my take, Salena. What you think?
Well, I think I actually get to watch this week's game for the first time, so I'm really happy about that. Being that I've not watched one yet, and I know the O-line disappointment so far, I will be looking for them to actually give Brock time to like be comfortable or more comfortable in the pocket. Because we do need to start, obviously run first, but we need to be able to throw and make those plays to kind of throw everything wide open. So I'll be watching for that. Like I said, I haven't watched the season. So
this is going to be a time of possession game, right? So like, if do the things we were just talking about, run the damn ball on first down, on second down, on third down if you get it close, but run the ball, keep the time possession in our favor. And just when they do get the ball, quick stall out drive, when we get the ball, it's multiple 6, 7, 8, 9 play drives that can keep the ball out of Jackson Dart's hands and out of that explosive defense or offensive hands. I think that's got to happen. If the time possession is close at the end of the day, I think we lose. If we are winning the time possession by 3, 4, 5 minutes, I think we have a real chance to walk out there with the win. But I'm nervous, but there's some anxiety there. But at the end of the day, I do still, based off what I saw live on the field for the Georgia game, like there's no such thing as moral victories, but damn, that you left there going, hey, we had a chance. And I think this is a team that we can just, like you, Freddie, like you started, just throw out South Carolina, just throw it out there. And, that was just a shit show. But this is a team that can be competitive and can surprise folks. That's what I'm hoping. But
I hope so.
All right, y'all. Well, hey, Freddie, I appreciate you coming on, man. Tell people where they can find you at, on Twitter and some of the space that you hold. But so you got some really people who come on there and give some good football knowledge and opinion. And it's a positive atmosphere, which I like. So where can they find you on social media?
Yeah, you can find me at. Hold on, man. This is the new.
Oh, you got to look it up.
You can find me at FB_Freddie_UK. So it's Football Freddie, and it created from a group chat. So it might be me talking on the space. It might be one of the other members in the group chat. We created a group chat for the football fans to have something to get together and talk and discuss how they feel and stuff. So it's not just really me. I'm the one that kind of created it all. But go give us a follow, man. We just hop on the mic, chill every Monday around 7:30. It might be a little bit later and it might be a little bit earlier, but we'll let y'all know. Give me a follow, and thanks for having me on, guys.
Yeah, man, I appreciate taking the time. Appreciate taking the time talking ball. Yeah, the spaces are a great time. I love getting on there, talking to you, Jansen, Cullen, the State Line Co. boys, like everybody comes on there. Everybody kind of has a different take. Sometimes people get upset, whatnot, but it stays positive, and you let everybody have a chance to kind of talk and vent, or give the praise when it's warranted. So it's a really good time, and we definitely need to get people more of the fans on that on those spaces to just kind of keep uplifting the culture here. And I think that you present an awesome one for the fan base. Salena, where can they find you?
At KYSAS_ as always.
Boom. And I am at All UK Ball. Bleed Blue Rando. We appreciate you listening. As always, go Cats.
Go Cats.
Go Cats.
Thanks for joining us on another episode of the Bleed Blue Network podcast. We hope you enjoyed diving deep into the world of Kentucky sports with us. Don't forget to stay connected by following us on Twitter at BleedBNation. Your feedback means the world to us. So take a moment to leave a review. Not only does it help us improve, but it also helps others discover the show. Until next time, keep cheering, keep listening, and keep bleeding blue.